All right. Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to all you walking Model, who pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as to all you believers out there who believing on the gospel. And it's a couple of brothers from the Great Millstone Houston camp. I'm the brother Korah Abad. And as always, we got the beloved Elder Taza Pi as well. And the Wadi Yahweh Bashim Awashai for blessing us with another opportunity to come forth and bring forth this news, or the prophecies as we would know them. It's a lot. It will, a little behind schedule. I know we try to get it in, around 5, but, the Wadi Yahweh Bashim Awashai even still allow us to get it in today. But nevertheless, we'll hop into it. And as you see from the title, it says Thursday Live, a digital world and beef between the beasts, the EU versus the US, and Shalom to Allah Akim Aqua that may be tuning in, Yahweh Bashim Awashai Brakathum. So we'll hop into it. And again, it's some good stuff, man. There's a lot that's happening in the world. As we always say, is major things and minor things. But the only way you go know what's going on is if you have the eye to see and understand the thing that's supposed to happen in these times. A lot of people getting caught up on social media, drama, whatever it may be, but not really looking at what the Lord doing as far as his prophecies. And these last, really in this lesson, the two main prophecies that's left is the MOTB system, which is going to bring forth the MOTB itself, the digital system. And the second major prophecy is World War III happening. And that's some of the things we want to talk about tonight, and as people think that the Lord prophecies are far off, we're in those very days for these two prophecies to be fulfilled, man. All we waiting on is some type of event to mandate the MOTB, and in the midst of that, World War III gonna kick off. So we got some good stuff tonight. Got about 2 videos and some articles. We'll hop into it. Elder Taza, you got anything?
Yeah, come. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 5. Whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing, and a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment. All right. And for the elect, all right, they're gonna be able to discern the time and judgment. As you said, all right, it's down to two major prophecies, all right. And the wise are watching, all right, as we were commanded to do. But you even got some of the wicked that are watching. Some of the Edomites are paying attention too. And I say that to say, why do you have these guys, still trying to lull Israel to sleep? Some of these other groups and camps out here. We're supposed to be able to discern the times and judgments, and that is if you're wise, and that's ultimately up to the Most High because He's the one that giveth wisdom. But right, yeah, we are in critical times. These are critical times. All right, we are down to where the decisions you make is going to lead to life or death, and this is where we coming down to. All right, it's getting that critical. So just to kick it off on that note, all right, yeah, we looking at digital IDs. And as James Martinez, now we didn't play this part last week, but we played a segment with James Martinez on Redacted. But one crucial part that he said that we didn't get to play, he said when you see 6G, it's a wrap. All right. And so Clayton backdoored this week and did a piece on 6G. And yeah, Esau getting ready to go for the gold. And you see brothers putting out the videos. Now I seen Apostle Tahar video just a little while earlier. He did today. He really was backing off of another brother elder out there in New York. But what he was going into, and we'll touch on it, is this whole EU situation. So things are ramping up. All right, and you got that is chaos, war all over the place, and then on top of that, all right, they finalizing this infrastructure, all right, this digital lockdown infrastructure. They're finalizing it. All right, they're putting the last little finishing touches on it, and we might get a taste of it next year. But this is what brothers are saying. All right, 2026, we might see the MOTB. More than likely, we'll see the MOTB. I don't see it going another year without a MOTB. Yeah, but I'm gonna leave right there, brother. You got it.
That's it. So things about to get interesting, especially going into 2026. You know, matter of fact, we can start off with this end time headlines, and this was put out December.
And you know what? Just thinking about it, women been having that luxury, right, of making decisions and not having to deal with repercussions or consequences. But right, Jacob's trouble, they will not have that luxury, that convenience, nor that comfort. All right, and this is where we coming to. But you got it, brother. Salaki.
Now that's it. So we'll start off with this one put out December 6th, a couple of days ago. 2025, it says Trump is finding it more difficult to persuade people that good times are coming. And that's why it's hard, because it's clear good times not coming. You know, yeah, you have a lot of people still caught up in, the bread and circus, but people starting to see through that though. You know, you can't really watch the NBA because everybody knows it's rigged. You know, you can't get into certain things, the food, certain drinks to give you a headache, all these different things going. People don't like the society no more that they've been living in, that they've been duped by. Why? Because Habakkuk 2, the prophets are starting to speak. So I read we ain't got to get into this one, but I just want to kind of highlight that, right? It's hard for these governments to try to fake out the people as they've been doing. No, what it says in 2 Esdras 15, the people eventually go get tired and revolt, man. So it's no good times coming, like 1 Thessalonians say. It's no good times coming when they talk about peace and safety, is destruction coming. So we can move on. This was put out 2 days ago, December 9th. Now, you know how Time Magazine always put out a person of the year. Now, they haven't did it yet, but it's been said that the greatest contributor to society in 2025 haven't been a person, right? Or anybody influential. What has been influential in 2025 has been this AI, the technology. The technology. We'll read a little bit into
design.
Yep, we'll read a little bit into it. And the thing is, we going into 2026 where they about to accelerate this stuff. They showed you a glimpse of acceleration in 2025 and 2024, but we about to see it go to another level. Remember, a lot of things are already set up. These big tech billionaires, they already got their plans going. See, 2024, they didn't have that. We had to wait for 2025 and Trump to bring them up there, Larry Ellison, and then Palantir. See, all that happened this year. See, Palantir stuff happened this year. Deals were signed and things were signed this year. What you think will happen next year? Let's do it. Why? Revelation 12:12. The so-called white man don't have long. Time ain't on his side. Let's read a little bit into it. Now, again, this is not Time Magazine actual cover. It just they kind of speculating that this is gonna be the person of the year. So let's read a little bit into it. It's gonna take us into the next videos because that's what's coming. A digital society, AI, and it's gonna lead to that MOTB, man. So it says, as 2025 draws to a close, speculation is mounting over who will be named Time Magazine's Person of the Year. Yet the overwhelming front runner isn't a human being at all. It is artificial intelligence, AI. It says prediction markets and public betting platforms show AI leading the field by a wide margin, surpassing global leaders, innovators, and cultural figures who typically dominate the shortlist. It says Time has occasionally honored entities rather than individuals, and criteria have always focused on influence for better or worse over the event of the years. Now check this out. It says in 1982, the magazine famously named the computer as the machine of the year, acknowledging the profound technological shift underway at the time. Now remember that the computer was the machine of the year because things was changing, right? It was a shift in that. It says more than 4 decades later, AI appears to be standing at a similar crossroad, shaping every facet of society with unprecedented speed. And it goes on. It says supporters of AI's candidacy point to its sweeping impact through 2025. Because look how all these even ads on YouTube, majority of them not even real people no more. All the ads AI ads. Commercials on TV starting if you got TV. I got Fire Sticks. But if you got these things, all the ads starting to be AI. Everything is AI. Matter of fact, I was talking to my boss at my job the other day, and what we do, it's not like a factory job to where they got machines coming in and taking people's jobs, but I work on a computer, right? But they got this new software to where what I do, you don't need to go through all those steps that might take days. Now they got an AI system to where it's going to do everything for you in minutes. Now check this out. This is what my boss said. He said, yeah, he called me my government name, yeah, so-and-so. And I really been thinking, if we're going to get this system, then we might be overstaffed. He said we might be overstaffed. So AI taking people jobs, man, on all like I say, facets of life. But it said, you about to say something?
No, you good.
It says advanced AI tools have transformed industries such as education, journalism, entertainment, software development, and customer service. And you got to throw health in there. It says automation continues to shape the workforce while the AI-powered creativity tools have altered how art, writing, and media are produced. The rapid integration of AI into both personal and professional life have made its presence impossible to ignore. Now it goes on, there's some good stuff. Oh, let me put the articles in the description box for y'all too. But keep in mind, this is where the world is going. Why? Revelation 13 and 16. He gonna have to cause all because it's written. It's written. Now we'll play a little bit of this video. This from the Elder Mayaka Island, LA. His page is GMS Inspiration of the Almighty. He put this out 2 days ago, and there's a couple quick clips, and we ain't gonna play the whole thing. And again,
yeah, I was gonna mention that. I'm glad you playing it. That's he calls it all.
That's the one. It says they're summoning a powerful demon. He had power to give life.
Yeah. That's a good one. Con.
That's the one you want.
And, I'm sorry, not he calls it all, but he had power to give life. Salakia.
Let's see.
Is that what he titled it, or
no? He titled
that
it.
Was like a side. That was like a side.
Yeah, no, he got it right here. It says he had power to give life. Yeah, he got it right there.
To give life, right? And it is going into AI. Mm-hmm. And that's funny because and now you see AI is getting all this big ups, you know. And if you listen to Clayton going to that 6G, they actually they trying to bring this shit to life, literally. They trying to make AI sentient. Mm-hmm. So it's going to, as Clayton was explaining, 6G is going. It's for AI. It's basically for AI to allow AI to run everything. And so that's why James Martinez was saying it's a wrap. But, I'm just putting all this together. And then that brother dropped that, he had power to give life. And I was like, damn, it's all coming together, bro. Mm-hmm. That's how we about to witness the book of Revelation play out in real time. But you got it out.
That's right. And these articles and the videos already in the description box for y'all. So again, as you know, bros, we're gonna kind of go with the spirit on what we hit in the articles and the videos, but it might not be the whole thing if y'all want to check out everything. But we'll play this video real quick, and keep in mind as we go on, this is where the world going. And the first part of the segment of the show is a digital world. Let's go ahead and play it. Hold on, I keep forgetting I gotta switch the screen. Hold on, Salaki, bear with us. Share screen. Get it? There we go.
Rolling the dice. With all
Got a guy who talking is Guido Reichstester. Sound like a small hat name. It says AI co-founder.
All of our lives and with the future of humanity. And they're going to reach the point where the dice are going to hit the table. And I'm not willing to let that happen. I've got 2 children who I love, who have just as much right to a future and a world as I do and as you do. And it's not necessary that this should happen. We can stop this.
Elon Musk has a 30% chance of extinction. Sam Altman says basically that AGI is the biggest risk to human existence. So what are they doing? They are playing Russian roulette with every human being on Earth without our permission. They're coming into our houses, putting a gun to the head of our children, pulling the trigger, and saying, well, possibly everyone will die. Oops. But possibly we'll get incredibly rich.
What kind of things are you testing for?
The broad category is national security risk.
Can this AI make a weapon of mass destruction?
Specifically, we focus on CBRN, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear. And right now we're at the stage of figuring out, can these models help somebody make one of those?
Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, has built a doomsday bunker. It's buried and hidden in the Navajo desert. It's stocked with antibiotics, a hydroponic food system, and weapons. This is the same man racing to build artificial general intelligence, while now telling the world it's perfectly safe. So why prepare for catastrophe? Very few people know.
By the year 2045, AI is going to be 1 billion times smarter than humans. You know what that means? This is comparable to the intelligence of Einstein as compared to a fly. And humanity, while we're still Einstein, is not discussing how are we going to keep the best interest of us, the fly, in Einstein's mind. We're talking through the arrogance of humanity about how we're going to control them, how we're going to box them, how we're going to tripwire them. Good luck with that. But
in the future, in a couple of years, maybe 2 or 3 years, 90% of the world's knowledge will likely be generated by AI. That's crazy. I know, but it's just fine. I know. And the reason for that is this. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
It's because what difference does it make to me that I'm learning from a textbook that was generated by a bunch of people I didn't know, or written by a book that, from somebody I don't know, to knowledge generated by AI, computers.
With AI, the worst case scenario of everybody gets wiped out is a little bit different for the people making that decision. Because if I'm the CEO of DeepSeek and I make that AI that does wipe out humanity, and that's the worst case scenario, and it wasn't avoidable because it was all inevitable, then even though we all got wiped out, I was the one who built the digital god that replaced humanity, and there's
giant warehouses are
right? So just want to kind of play a little bit of that. People, it ain't nothing good coming with AI, and there's more. So let's get into, you got anything, Elder Tazapar, on that before we move on?
Yeah, just on you, what you were talking about, the job replacement. All right, that's a real thing. All right, we coming into a place in time, all right, where the Twilight Zone did an episode, the Apostles brought this out years ago. It's called The Obsolete Man. All right. And this is what Esau is doing. He's making everybody obsolete. And what did Noah Yuval Harari say? Our biggest problem would be what to do with the people, because they are making them obsolete. And it ain't no, AI destroy the world. AI can't destroy shit. All right, it's just like a gun. They say, oh, guns are bad. No, it's the intent of the people that's using or operating the shit. AI can't do shit. AI is in cyberspace. All right. For them to wipe out humanity, right, they need the grid system, which is being built by who? Well, humans, but under Esau. All right. So yeah, this devil has to be stopped. Yeah, AI has the power to do that, but he can't do it without human assistance. And this goddamn dummy is assisting AI to make humanity obsolete. You know, and as I say, he don't have no business in the rulership seat, but he can't help himself. But right soon, everybody's gonna be shit. There'll be no work for what does scripture say, for the head or the tail. But in Ecclesiastes chapter 12, you know, I was already in that book. Chapter 12, verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few. All right, the grinders is talking about the workers, the employers, employees. All right, the workforce. It says, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets. Talking about these company shutdowns. All right, here on my side of town, it's becoming a ghost town over here. You know, it says, yeah, and the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. All right, and AI is exponentially bringing this about. All right, with the well, first earlier this year was Doge. All right, Doge went through and said, "Oh, we don't need y'all, and we don't need y'all. What y'all doing over here? And y'all can get on up the road too." And so they was cutting jobs, but you know, all throughout the year, AI has been, you know, taking jobs, and that trend is going. That's a trend. That ain't gonna stop. All right, that's the wave of the future. So it says, yeah, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. All right, it was speaking to the quality of the music today. But right, that was the point, is that the grinders, those who do the work, is going to be few because of all of these layoffs and cutbacks, and due to you know, whether it be fiscal policy or just AI, and that, you know, that whole industry being renovated through AI, you know, people gonna be out of work. This is gonna cause crime to shoot up, and you know, it's gonna create desperate situations. But you got it, I.
That's right. So we can hop into this one. This end time headlines. It says the WHO, or WHO, the WHO World Health Organization, outlines global plan. Chief Ephraim. Chief Ephraim. I know I ran it. They doing it. Everybody doing it. It says outlines a global plan for digital health tools, which includes AI and wearables. Now, again, this not as far as not, you know, digital finances, or you know, you getting anything put in you. This is gradualism. And Esau been doing it. The you know, the Apple watches, the watches to check your tracking. I mean, your walking, your blood pressure, what you ate today. All these, they getting you used to learn something. What you say, Zaquan?
Fitbits.
Yep, Fitbits. You know, all kind of stuff. You know, but this is where it's going. They want people to see over time. Remember, it was just a computer, like we read earlier right here. Time Magazine in 1982, I believe. The computer was the machine of the year. But it went from being like a desktop and heavy machinery, you know, big screens and modems and all that, to being in your hand.
And that's what I was saying about a couple of weeks ago. The digital age was the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
That was the digital age. Now we going into cyber. You know, we say digital because they say digital, but we've been digital. The internet is digital. But right, they going cyber, you know, and with this AI shit. But go ahead.
Now that's right. You know, but and it went from being, you know, with the big modem, you know, you know, back in the days, You know, your mom and them, like I know my parents had one, like the big old computer stand. Yeah, TV, DVDs at the top. You know, the printer right here.
Yeah,
It was
the
big, but
printer.
right,
You had
everything.
to have a you had, well, if you was rolling like that, you probably had a fax machine and all that. And now we got all that in the phone. Well, you don't even need the fax no more. We send emails and all that shit by phone. But yeah,
Now that's it. And it went to is not what you said, Zaquan, is in your hand. Right?
Yep.
That phase over with. That phase,
Yep.
you know, it was the Razor phone, you know, the Razor phone craze and you know, the chirp, the what that was, Boost Mobile chirp, you know, right? All that was cool. That was the in hand part. Now what's going in you now? It's a different age, a different time. A different time. Let's read just a little bit of this. It says, in a sweeping new initiative, the World Health Organization, or WHO, has unveiled a global plan he calls of all. Revelation 13 is our temptation which shall come upon all the world. It says a global plan to accelerate the adoption of digital health tools, from artificial intelligence, AI, to wearable devices. The thing is, they're getting you in a mindset of it's always around you. You wearing it. So people ain't go think it a deal to have it in them. It says aiming to transform how healthcare is delivered worldwide. That's another thing. I remember Elder Yashawamba and the brother Tazamine Dallas did a lesson some years ago going into the 666. You know, and they pretty much broke it down, and I'm paraphrasing, but how they're gonna use health to bring forth the MOTB, you know, health, finances, so on and so forth. So it's all going into the plans of what the prophet's been saying. Esau doing what the prophet's been saying, because we know the end game. It says the plan, I didn't even know to say the plan, but the plan reflects growing recognition that digital technologies can help overcome long-standing barriers to care, especially in underserved regions. According to the WHO, these tools can enhance disease prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and follow-up, reaching more people and improving outcomes. It says that the strategy places particular emphasis on AI-based software and sensors embedded in everyday devices, such as smartwatches or fitness rings. Now, this the gradualism leading up to the events, man. Now, we ain't gonna play this video because he pretty much be saying what we say. You know, not saying us, me and Elder Taza Paul myself, but I'm talking about he got to be, like the Elder Yashawama said, he got to be listening to the prophets, you know, the apostles or the bishop, somebody, you know, because he's a Christian. These Christians don't know the breakdowns like that. They don't know what's going on. Because if they did, they would have been saying it in 2005 and 10 and stuff like that, early, before the apostles came out with all this information, you know. But the thing is that he got this video and it's in a group chat. I mean, not the group chat. It's in the description box if y'all want to watch it. I just want to highlight the I guess description on what he gonna talk about. Right? It says, in tonight's podcast, we discuss a magician's bizarre incident involving an implanted RFID chip and a forgotten password, highlighting potential technology risks. We also examine Britain's plan to deploy widespread facial recognition cameras, raising significant concerns about security and individual privacy. These developments collectively paint a concerning picture of expanding surveillance, reminiscent of Big Brother and society, and ultimately leading to the beast system of revelation. That's exactly what we're seeing, man. That's exactly what we're seeing. And it's so hard to deny that even Christians, you gotta talk about this. Because what else you talking about? Nobody care about Jesus and love no more, man. Tell the people what's going on. That's what they want to hear. They being forced to talk about it. This is where it's going. You gotta.
No, I just thinking, you know, because I asked my mama that. I said, "What y'all talking about this or y'all talking about that at church?" I think she be shooting me some white lies, but she say, "Yeah, the pastor be going over this and that." I don't know if I specifically asked her about the mark of the beast, but I did ask her about something. But yeah, they trying the best they can to stay relevant. But yeah, their relevancy is fading fast if they have any left at all. But yeah, you made me think about that, brother. You good?
John, that is it. So right, let's see, one more, two more. Okay, so we'll hit one more hitting on this technology because this is where it's going. But I got a precept real quick. This is Ezekiel chapter 12 and verse. I'm gonna start at 21. Now the Lord told Ezekiel to speak to Israel, saying this. Now this first and foremost go to you Israelites too, because y'all ain't just about to keep saying what y'all want to say, talking to you camps out there. And you other, people too who know y'all Israelites and call yourself prophets. But we talking to the camps. Why? Because the camps, at least these other camps, IUIC, Watchmen for Israel, BOW, ISUPK, at least they out there though. Some of them. At least they out there. Right? The thing is, the time coming to where you people who out there as Israelites on the highways and hedges, you people in the churches, and everybody else who got an opinion, that's the point. We're in a time till you ain't gonna have no opinion. You ain't gonna have nothing to say because what the prophet's saying will be in your face, man. It ain't gonna just be what you think it is, like the nigga from BOW. See, he was reading Revelation, what that was, 20. See, I think this been happened. I think this is like a past connotation. I don't think this talking about no future problem. Right, nigga, you keep saying you think. If you don't know, be quiet. If you don't know, be quiet.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want my teacher to keep saying, I think. Come on, man. But let me get this precept real quick. This Revelation chapter 12 and verse 21, it says, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is this proverb that ye have in the land of Israel? So the Lord is saying, what is this that I'm hearing these Israelites talk about? And this is what they talking about. Saying, the days are prolonged and every vision faileth. Man, none of these prophecies are what Ezekiel talk about, right? What the apostles, bishops, and brothers talk about, they ain't gonna happen in our time. It's far off. The Lord said, verse 23, tell them therefore, thus saith the Lord power, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision. We're in a time for these things to be fulfilled. And it's the point. And it says, so when it start happening, the Lord says, for there shall be no more any vain vision, nor flattering divination within the house of Israel. We're in a time to where people, you ain't gonna just say what you think it is.
Yeah, right.
You saying something to feed the emotions of your congregation. You just saying something to be because you don't want to agree with Great Millstone. Because in their mind, in their mind, they feel like if I agree with Great Millstone, then they gonna be affiliated and like they like to, slander us. They gonna be affiliated with men who like young girls, so they can't agree with nothing Great Millstone say, and stuff like that. But when it's time to what you saying though, it's gonna be clear it's not right.
That's it.
It's gonna be obvious it's not right, and you reaching. And man, I can't wait. I'm ready for the time.
Yeah, I feel you though. I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you mean, shit.
Yep, I'm ready for the time the Lord to show, like, and just show it that they can't say nothing because what you saying is clearly not what's happening in the world, and the people gonna see it. That's why it says, for there shall be no more any vain vision nor flattering divination within the house of Israel, man. Y'all about to see that the MOTB is the very RFID micro C-HIP. How could it be sin? Never explaining it. But that was it. That was it on that. You got something else, Tyler?
We go to Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. All right. So the vision that was set for an appointed time. All right. And they all have their separate times, but it's saying that in the end that it was going to speak. And we're in the end, and the visions are speaking by coming to pass. So when you see, RFID microchips, 6G towers going up, that's the vision speaking. When you see chaos in the streets, civil war, that's more talk. All right, the talk of civil war is ramping up. All right, all these things are on the table right now. You know, when you see them, that's the vision speaking. All right. So it's just as the brother is going into. If people ain't gonna have the liberty to just pull shit out their ass and say what they want to say, and you know, keep that money flowing, people gonna start demanding answers from these niggas. Well, hold up, you told us this, because they're gonna start seeing something else. And they say, well, hold up, you told us that this was that, or that was gonna happen, but yet this happened. You know? So yeah, they done played the dangerous game. They made a lot of money, but at some point in time, they're gonna have to come clean.
Mm-hmm.
And I would hate to be in that position. You know, but you got it, brother. That was it.
That's right. So we'll end off this segment of the live show, which is and I see brothers got precepts. We'll try to get a few in a bit. But a digital world, right? You see a digital world in front of you being created, man, is the foundation. You know how like last year the Toss Power was like, yeah, they setting the foundation or the beginning of 2025 because they were signing laws that's already passed now. They about to start building on that foundation. Would you say?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I remember now. Yeah.
Yep. The thing is the foundation set. The tech billionaires are in the dough now. That happened when Trump got elected. They in the dough now. Elon Musk.
I think that. Yeah, they laid their legal groundwork.
Think about it. When that happened, Elon Musk came on the scene. Him and Trump was boys, and they blew that up. And he ain't nowhere to be found. Right, right. Because they did what they had to do.
He did his part, and then he right.
Yep, yeah. Set the foundation. Now they about to build. We about to see the building of the MOTB system in 2026, and it very well could come. It very well can come. You know why? Because the law goes short in the days, man. But let's read this last one, and we can go to some World War III news because you got beef between the beasts. Oh man, Salakia, I ain't even been showing my screen. Man, Salakia, y'all about my shot broke a thumb. But Salakia, I thought we were sharing the whole screen and I wasn't. There we go. So this the article we just looked at, the wearables, and it's the implanted thing I was talking about with the dude. But let's get into this article right here. Right? So it says this was put out today from thepeoplesvoice.com. It says British government to arrest citizens who display suspicious emotions. Now, we just read 2 weeks ago that in America, and they started off at the border, they putting cameras up to track people movements. And if your movements is, like they say, suspicious, they got the right to pull you over. And the UK is also doing it. What is this gradualism? It says the UK's Labour government has introduced sweeping new legislation that will grant police the power to deploy advanced street cameras capable of analyzing people's faces and arrest individuals who display suspicious emotions. And again, when they say stuff like that, like it's what's the like what you got to do? What's the check off to say, oh, that's suspicious? No, that's a gray area.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
Even if
I mean, that's just funny. I'm just you good. I'm just taking it in.
You know, like what if you got brothers on the highways preaching? You could go call it emotional and gatherings and see it's gray areas to bring forth laws. It says DailyMail.uk reports under the draconian plans. Draconian plans. Mm-hmm. Which critics fear could usher in surveillance state in everything but name. The Home Office is consulting on the use of technology which analyze the body and its movements to infer information about the person, such as their emotions or actions. In a 10-week consultation, officials are asking the public whether police should be allowed to use such inferential technology. It says, in a suggested example, CCTV cameras at a suicide hotspot could send an alert to a police station when an individual repeatedly paces the area. So if you got somebody by a suicide hotspot and they just pacing in the area, that's suspicious, because you might be thinking about killing yourself then.
Mm.
And it says, in other biometric technologies under consideration for police use include voice and iris recognition, man. So this another place that they putting out cameras. America, they putting them out, and they've been having them out, but now it's advanced cameras. And like Elder Tyler Power was saying, a lot of this stuff will be linked to 6G. You know,
Yeah, and that's why you need the 6G. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Because they're going to have cameras everywhere. That's loads of data, just cameras by themselves running 24/7 every day. Then you got the sensors to track your motions and all your movements. And Clayton is saying 6G will follow you specifically. And they're going to have, how did he word it? Repurposed material in walls and shit, that it'll be able to transmit the signal, because 5 and 6G are dense microwave signals. They can only travel so far, and they don't travel through dense material. So they need help. And this is why, through 6G, they needed that juice. That's why they needed the juice, because the juice makes the people antennas, transmitters, and receivers of 5 and 6G as well. So they got the towers, then they got these materials that they putting in buildings, because if you got a tower on the ground and you up on the 100th floor, you ain't gonna get the signal. So they got to fit, all this shit got to be fitted. That's part of the infrastructure, to support all this shit. But all right, they got this juice in a lot of you people. So y'all will be used as antenna or as towers, all right, to transmit. Man, that's gonna aid you tremendously. So like, if you was born into this shit, let's say they had it fully going and you was born into it, I don't see you surviving 40 years in this shit. Clayton say it ain't a little bump because of 5 to 6. He say no, it's going from giga to tera, and tera is in the trillions of bits per second, and this is just bombarding you constantly. Imagine the wear and tear on your cells. All right, we catch hell from antioxidants. Or oxidants, not antioxidants. We catch hell from oxidation. Listen, man, you getting bombarded with terabytes. Yeah, that's going to degenerate your cells rapidly. But shit, that's pretty much it. You mentioned the draconian part about it. All right. So this is Revelation 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. This beast is Babylon, America. And he had 2 horns like a lamb. That's pursuant to the governmental structure dealing with the Democrats and the Republicans. Those are the 2 horns, like a lamb. It said, and he spake as a dragon through draconian legislation. All right. And though this beast is in America, the philosophy that we know, all right, from other prophecies, such as Jeremiah 51, that the wine of Babylon goes throughout the world. All right. So this is global. You said the word, Apostle Tahar, he emphasized the word in his lesson, global. All right. Right, that's the thing. It says, oh, I should have stayed in Habakkuk. It said that he, let me go back to that right quick. Heapeth unto himself all people. All right, right, because he's trying to put this thing global. In Australia, they putting a ban on social media for people 16 and under. All right, no social media. And I don't know when that's taking effect, but that's coming up in Australia. Now, what is that going to do? That's going to create a demand for digital ID. Because how you know how old somebody is online? You don't know. But if you got a digital ID, you would know. So that's going to lead to people having to show ID or log in with ID credentials to get on the internet. Just the internet, period. Not even social media, but just on the internet in general. So it's your work, you work on the internet, that's how you get your money, you gotta get that ID. And then that's your next step would be that MOTB. All right. You still getting money on OnlyFans or whatever, you're gonna have to get an ID. No more that that said, I forget who said it, it'll come to me in a little bit, but anonymity, being anonymous is I have to paraphrase, but he's saying like it's a no-no, that's dangerous. And so, right, this is what they're looking to destroy. Ain't no more, just you get on the internet and do your thing and shit, No, they want to know who you are, what time you get on it, what you do while you're on it, and when you log off. And then, as I mentioned, there's 6G gonna follow. So you get in your car, see that same signal attaching to your car is following you, recording, tracking everything you do. This is why they need all these data centers. All right. But yeah, that was it. No, I did mention Habakkuk. I want to read that right quick. I think verse 6, 2 and 6. This is Habakkuk chapter 2. It's a lot. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go to 4. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. See, he can't help himself. He gonna bring this 6G and all the AI about. If it kill him, he gonna bring it about. He can't help himself. And if it kill everybody on earth, he gonna bring it about. All right. So the scripture tell us that he enlarged his desire as hell. What's his desire? And the scripture go into it. But right now, to implement this AI infrastructure. And what, in essence, once he does that, what does that do? That puts hell on earth, literally. All right. Now, we already in hell as Israelites, but it's some people enjoying a little heaven. It's heaven for somebody out here. All right. But we catching hell. But when they do this, everybody catching hell, except if you belong to them families. All right. There's a few families. You don't give a fuck because you white, or you call yourself white, or you blue blood. That's what this is coming down to. And they don't even like one another. It's fighting amongst them. But going back to this, Habakkuk 2 and 5, yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations through this AI 5, 6G and beyond infrastructure. This is what this is for him to heap unto himself all people, and he wishes to implement God-like power over all of the people, over the masses. All right, and this is what they fighting for at the top. They want to fight over who's gonna be the supreme. You know, Esau ain't happy sharing power or sharing glory. That it ain't his nature. His nature is to be a nigger. So yeah, they fighting up at the top. All right, they niggers. They put that shit on you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans as niggers, but they are the true niggers. All right. So right, it says, yeah, he enlarged it, or who enlarged his desire as hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gathered unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. So you got it, brother.
That's it. I got one quick precept. Is Revelation 13. Revelation 3 and 10. It says, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation." And that's what we're seeing, the system being set up to tempt everybody to take the MOTB.
Yep.
And this is when I wanted. It says the hour of temptation, so that very event, which shall come upon all the world.
Because he wanted to heap to himself all people, and that's going to bring the temptation to all the world.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, go ahead, brother. You cooking, brother. Go ahead.
Which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So this is a worldwide event. And again, Chief Ephraim, everybody doing it. Everybody's starting to go digital IDs. Then there's going to be some type of, a healthcare link to it, and, wearables and all this is going to lead to and it's the thing. They go gradually do this with the wearables and the digital IDs. But after that, remember, all they need is one event, one drastic emergency event. Now they can mandate it. So we right there at the door for this worldwide event to take place. But you had anything else on that, Elder Tazapar?
No, sir. We can roll.
Okay. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get one from the comment board real quick. This is
they on fire. That brother. Yeah, spiritual ark on fire.
He getting busy real quick. Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. And that's a so-called white man. He have plans and play. He talk about them in his meetings, and then he said, "Well, how we gonna do it?" And one of them said, "Well, we gonna have a global sickness and call it CV19, and right." And they create the event just to pass the laws, or they pass the laws and they come with the event. But that's Esau. So woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. So the laws be in place. They thought about it, then they just make the event come so they can pass it, man. So the people don't think it's off. So the people think, oh, this is a solution to the problem. No, they made the problem to bring their own solution. So 2 Corinthians 2:11, so lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. We see what's going on, man. The Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua gave us the eyes to see, So even if Esau come with smoke screens, or Trump come say we ain't going, America ain't doing a CBDC, guess what we can say as believers? BS. Bull stuff. You know why? Because according to prophecy, you have to do it. You have to do it. And this is what we win at being believers. We know what have to happen. But let's get into this next segment and we can start to wind it down. So we touched on the digital world. In the next part of the Thursday Live, it says, and beef between the beasts. That's prophecy. The beast system being NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and the EU, the European Union. And that whore that ride on top of that beast and have the main control of the beast is Babylon the Great. But now,
right now, that prophecy being fulfilled that say, and these shall hate the whore.
That's right.
That's being fulfilled right now. But go ahead, brother.
You want to snag it or you?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab it.
Yeah, we can hop into
you
it.
Want right now or?
Now you can get it right now because that'll be a good one to lead us into everything that's about to be talked about in the article in this video.
All right, Con. This
You got
is,
it though. You can speak on it too, Zaquan.
oh shit. Damn it. Where is it?
It's at the bottom, like the last 3 verses.
It's in
Revelation 17.
17. Yeah.
And it's
17.
like verse maybe 17, 16.
I don't know why I was thinking. I went to 11. Con. Yeah, I got you. All right, this is Revelation chapter 17. All right, and verse. I'll start at 12. So Revelation chapter 17, verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings. All right, this is representing the EU today. All right, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb. No, that ain't. Yeah, I'm gonna read on. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. All right, and that's in this third woe that's coming. All right, that all brothers in GMS been prophesying about this third woe. That's one of the main things that we're looking for. It says, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For the Lord of Lords and King of Kings, for he is Lord of Lords and King of Kings. And this is who we serve. All right. The Most High and his only begotten Son, the Lord of Lords and King of Kings. And they that are with him are called. Go ahead.
Slagi, were you reading that?
I'm in 17 and 14.
Oh, okay.
The point coming up. I started up a little high, but it's coming up.
Now you good. I was just following along.
Yeah, this is at the end of 14 it says, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And this is verse 15, and he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the horse sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore and shall make her desolate, and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire, like you're supposed to do with a witch and a whore. All right. Well, the scripture says suffer not a witch to live, but here in America was famous for the witch trials and burnings. So this whore Babylon is going to be burnt with fire, thermonuclear fire. All right, from these various missiles coming from around the world. But yeah, brother, that was basically it. The 10 horns, that is the EU today. All right. And it's beef right now. They got smoke. There's some real smoke right now. So yeah, let's hope it escalate. Well, like you was just saying, it gotta escalate.
It have
to fulfill prophecy. So yeah, it's gonna escalate. And this whole shit with Venezuela, that's gonna draw China and Russia outside of them 10 horns. So they steady poking the bear and they steady fucking with China. And that's what Apostle Tahar was going into today. And remember I said, I was kind of, just going into that situation. I said, it don't make sense because we're going to AI and all of this system. We don't need all that oil no more. Why are they still fighting over oil or this or that? But I said, it's to keep Venezuela from dealing with, I said, Russia. So Apostle Tahar said, China got more stake in Venezuela than Russia. All right, but he did say Russia do, which that's go without saying, Russia do have ties in Venezuela. And Apostle Tahar said it's all about the oil. All right. But it is about the oil, but it's also too the U.S. hegemony, hegemony. They losing. The U.S. is losing, and how I look, like you a pimp, and then you got one you had a stable, and you down to one hoe, and then here come the big pimps, and they take your last little hoe. I'm just making a little analogy. This is how America is looking at it. Like, this is right in our backyard. We should be the one to have that. And so, yeah, and then the whole BRICS situation, called Venezuela is either looking to join BRICS or they might be in it already. So, yeah, man, this war brewing.
Mm-hmm.
The war is brewing, but yeah, you got it.
Yep, Trump talking big stuff too. Let's get into it. He called their leaders weak, stupid, and they fired back. They fired back.
Oh, definitely. And if they go, cause Scott Ritter said, if they put boots on the ground, it's a wrap. He said they got all kind of people waiting on them to make a move in Venezuela, because like they said, Colombia gonna come in there, and they gonna have a quagmire. It's gonna be another quagmire. But go ahead, brother.
Yep, and I want to get to that video because Scott Ritter was going off. Because when I first, anyway, we'll get to it. But let's read a little bit of this, what Trump said, and then we'll get the EU response. So this from End Time Headlines put out yesterday, December 10th. It says, Trump says a decaying Europe is being led by weak people. It says Donald Trump has described Western Europe as a group of decaying nations that is being led by weak leaders. In an interview with Politico, the U.S. president accused the governments of Western Europe, the EU, right, a part of the beast.
Exactly. That's a cut. He cut himself because America is the whore that sit on the beast. Y'all the leader of Europe. So you the weak motherfucker. You talking about yourself, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead,
God, I want to get this real quick. This Daniel 7:20 is going into America. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, and the other is America, right? Watch what it's about to say about America and how they gonna feel towards their allies, right? Or the people are part of this beast system with them. It says, now check this out. This prophecy, way before Trump and said all this prophecy. That's how we know what the Lord got written. It gotta happen. Daniel 7:20. And of the 10 horns, right, that region of the EU, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, that other's America, and before whom 3 fell, because when America came up, it had 3 major wars that turned the 13 colonies of Britain into the good old US of A today. Right? So it says, and even of that horn, so even the same America that we're talking about, even of that horn that had eyes, here it is, and a mouth that spake very great things, and whose look was more stout than his fellows. Now, when you go into that word stout with Google, it says of a person of a strong build, so on and so forth. So in other words, America was going to boast themselves and look down upon these other people, right? Be more powerful and boast in that power amongst their allies. That's exactly what we're seeing. Exactly what we're seeing. And then when you keep reading Daniel, it went into America's downfall at the end of the chapter. So we ain't far from that. We're in the stages of them being stout against their allies. And according to Obadiah, if a brother want to put that in chat, Obadiah 1 in the NLT, the verses when it says that even your allies pretty much gonna set you up.
Yep.
And that's exactly what we seeing. Because that was Daniel 7:20. And in Daniel 7:26, America was destroyed, Esau was taken down, and the Israelites ruled. So 6 verses down, right? America fell after being stout. We seeing that now. They talking shit to their, excuse my language, they talking stuff to their allies, You calling them? We gonna read it. Trump said, "Yeah, they stupid. Some stupid leaders in the U. I'm real stupid. I'm real stupid leader. You're real stupid leaders, right?" So the thing is, how you think the people feeling? They're like, "Huh? Stupid, weak." The point is, if a brother want to put that in Obadiah for me real quick, because we're gonna read this article, but that give them all the right, and that make the scriptures true. They're gonna go behind your back, and they're gonna backdoor you now. This how you coming? We're gonna backdoor you now. It says
you
in the
can
interview,
see it. You can see it too. You can see it coming. Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
That's some good stuff.
Coming.
Matter of fact, I want to play this video because I ain't know Scott Ritter. That's what I was gonna say earlier. When I was watching that first, I was, kind of still on the plane and stuff, so I wasn't paying attention. And Scott Ritter was going in, and I thought him and his dude was on the same page. But correct me if I'm wrong, I kind of watched a little bit. Scott Ritter was talking to him. They're like, bro, you better watch yourself. Because the dude right here is a Briton, right? He's from the UK. And pretty much Scott Ritter, talking to him and every other person in the UK over there.
Yeah, over there.
In the EU.
I was, I'm at work, so I'm moving and I'm catching bits and pieces when I watched it. So yeah, that's interesting. I didn't see that.
Now it was shocking because it was a point that I heard. I think it was around like the 8-minute mark, and we're gonna play it around the 9-minute mark. So it's a 49-minute video, but I caught a good point around 21 minutes. Then I had to go up, and it was good. I had to go up, and it led me all the way to like 9 minutes. The thing is, I think this UK dude was like, "Yeah, America just proud," and so on and so forth. And that's when you can see his face. Scott Ritter got pissed off. He was like, "Oh no, y'all better watch your ass." And the dude started laughing. Scott Ritter said, "No, I ain't playing. Y'all better watch your ass. See, this is the problem with y'all." He started getting in on it. We're gonna play it. We're gonna play it. It's some good stuff. It's prophecy though. It's prophecy though, man. Let's read a little bit of this. Let's see what Trump said. It's like I'm getting a little excited. It says in an interview with Politico, the U.S. president accused the governments of Western Europe, and it's also Daniel the 2nd chapter, how the feet and the toes can't get along because some of them weak and some of them strong, and the strong don't want to help the weak no more. And that's what's going to be said right here in these articles. America tired of it. Scott Ritter going to say, "Man, we tired of helping y'all. If it weren't for us, y'all wouldn't even be here." We're going to get into this stuff.
And that's what the talks about leaving leaving NATO is about, because that's coming back up too. But yeah, you got it out.
So it says the U.S. president accused the governments of Western Europe of mishandling migration and failing to help to put an end to the Ukraine conflict. It says, talking about the region leaders, he said, he is Trump. He said, "I think they're weak," adding that Europe doesn't know what to do. Now, mind you, this is allies he's talking about. It says, asking about the role of Western Europe in the Ukraine peace talks, Trump said that its leaders talk too much, adding that if they still believe Kyiv can win, they are free to keep supporting it for as long as they want. And Trump also said, "You've also got some real stupid ones too." It said, again, more stout than his fellows. It says Trump argued that the EU, part of the beast, that European migration policies are pushing some states towards collapse. He said, and I quote, "If it keeps going the way it's going, Europe will not be, in my opinion. Many of those countries will not be viable countries any longer." He said that their migration policy is a disaster, and what they're doing with migration is a disaster. And it says, right, they want to be politically correct and so on and so forth. But let me jump down a little bit. Oh, that was it. So let me go to this one. Right, we'll give a little more. We're gonna get this video. So it says, this was put out today, naturalnews.com. Europe leaders defend continent amid Trump's weak criticism. So they said, we got something to say. It says, let's read the bullet points first. President Donald Trump labels the EU as weak and incompetent on migration and Ukraine, claiming countries like Britain, France, Germany are being destroyed by mass migration. And he doubles down on his nationalist America First stance, right? More stout than his fellows. It's about them, not the allies. It says favoring bilateral deals over EU multilateralism. So Trump putting, again, more stout than his fellows. You think these people just go along? No. It says European Council President Antonio Costa demands mutual respect for democratic choices, defending the EU governance. Irish PM Michael Martin counters Trump, asserting EU's economic strength and resilience. It says Trump criticism aligns with right-wing European factions that oppose current migration policies, citing social and economic strains. Let's jump down. It says the clash highlights deepening US and EU divide over sovereignty, global leadership, and regulation. This is telling us right here, the beast is starting to separate from the whore. It's a divide. And Yahushua said, if a kingdom be divided against itself, it can't stand. It can't stand. So it says European leaders push back sharply against Donald Trump's recent remarks, branding the European Union as weak and incapable of managing migration and the war. Right, let's jump down. It says the European Council President Antonio Costa responded and said, we respect the choice of Americans, and they need to respect the democratic choices of our citizens. He said during a press conference in Ireland, when all the leaders elect me president of the European Council, President Trump must respect this, as we respect American citizens electing him president of the United States. And it says, we are very pleased and grateful to have excellent leaders who can lead us through the many challenges that the world is facing. We are proud of our leaders. It depends on, and he said, it also depends on how one defines strength, because Trump called them weak. It says, but Europe is one of the strongest continents in the world in terms of economic strength. Europe is strong and not weak. So it's going into the beef that they got. They beefing right now. The feet and the toes, they beefing right now. And let's hear Scott Ritter amplify that beef a little bit. Yeah, because again, and look, you can see this dude face. Because I ain't think Scott Ritter was talking to him, but he pissed Scott Ritter off when he was like, yeah, because he kind of like dissed America, and Scott Ritter got mad, like, bro, who you talking to? You can see his face eventually in this. He realized Scott Ritter was talking to him too. Let's play a little bit of it. Let me take the screen now and go play a little bit of it. And again, he wasn't directly talking to him, but he's talking to all those over there in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Let's play it.
That the Democrats sought to undermine his 2016 candidacy. All right. So now you're running around playing.
Let me get y'all the title. This is from Glenn Deason 2 days ago, put out 2 days ago. It says Scott Ritter, the U.S. now considers the EU an enemy. Let's play it back a little bit. Scott got a little pissed off.
Look, some of the times they don't like us for cause. I mean, you know, America's a war power and a warmongering nation. Yep, guilty as charged. But then don't pretend to be our friend when you put on your NATO hat. Because
yeah, he started off. I remember that. He started off on fire. Yeah, you want to say we warmongers, but ain't we helping y'all?
The same people that condemn us when they wear their EU hat are the same people that are embracing us when they were in their NATO hat.
Come on, man. Look at the two names he said. That's the beast. The EU and NATO. That's the two different organizations. The EU and the NATO, that makes up the beast. And Scott, is kind of a representative for the whore. So the whore right here is telling the beast how she feel. And look at the, now I'm speaking in, you know, but look at how the beast looking now. They feel some type of way. And look at how stout and proud the whore is speaking. Let's watch it play out.
This is a fundamental inconsistency that the Trump administration's fed up with.
And if you got some Zaquan, let me know. I'm gonna just let it run.
God.
And the other thing is when we sit down with Europe and try and say, you know, who do we want to align ourselves with? We don't want to align ourselves with people who denigrate us. If you don't like America, guess what? We don't like you either. So, you know, we shall go our own ways. But, you know, the other thing is, if you act in a way that is against core American values, then don't expect us to embrace you either. And freedom of speech is a core American value. And it certainly isn't being practiced in Europe today in many locations. Interference in elections. I mean, you guys, Europeans, wake up. This is Donald Trump. Okay, he believes fervently that the election was stolen from him in 2020. He knows, and this is an absolute, that the Democrats sought to undermine his 2016 candidacy. All right. So now you're running around playing stupid games in Romania, Moldova. You're seeking to outlaw a political party in Germany, and you want the United States, you want this president to be silent? No, you're anti-American by definition. And this is the national security strategy of the United States that seeks to promote American security interests. So don't be surprised that we've turned against Europe. And this is a fundamental turn. This isn't, a little lover's spat. This isn't a quarrel that will be papered over. This is of a fundamental nature. Europe is on a pathway, according to the Trump administration, to civilizational erasure.
And I'm gonna say this other times apart. I know Scott Ritter. He got like a manly spirit about him. But when you listen to look at his eyes, he got a different countenance about him on this video. You know, and the things he's saying, he really mean that. But what he said, this beef right here ain't just a beef that is gonna blow over. What's happening? This one ain't just gonna die down and we good again. You know, your prime minister come in and visit the White House and we good again. This one for real. And why it's for real? Prophecy. That's why prophecy, man. It have to go there. And that, if you're a believer, man, you have to know these things gotta happen. It have to go there. It ain't just gonna be the same thing forever. Let's play it.
That means you're gone.
I got to talk about. You got something?
No, you good.
You're doing it to yourself. We have decided that we will try to get those European nations, not the European Union, not the European community, those European nations that are worth saving on the right trajectory. But NATO is finished. I hope people understand that too, because the Trump administration has said there are members of NATO today who don't reflect the cultural values and realities of the nations that signed the charter. And therefore, they are incompatible with what we believe should be defended under the charter. It's over, finished, done, goodbye.
Yeah, it is interesting though how not just the EU, but the Europeans often view Americans, because it's in very much human nature to always divide it, or who are we and who are them, the in-group and the out-group. And whenever we talk about us Europeans, then the Americans, there's often this very derogatory language, like you said.
Now, check this out. This is the point. He was saying, like, us Europeans, y'all Americans, y'all got derogatory language and all this. He was, in a way, just speaking his mind, but Scott took it as a diss, and this was going to piss Scott right off. We'll play it back a little bit.
Americans, because it's in very much human nature to always divide it, or who are we
in realities of the nations that signed the charter, and therefore they are incompatible with what we believe should be defended under the charter. It's over, finished, done, goodbye.
Yeah, it is interesting though how not just the EU, but the Europeans often view Americans, because it's in very much human nature to always divide.
He said how Europeans view Americans, right? Listen to what he gonna say, how Europeans view Americans. It's gonna piss Scott off. It's funny.
Who are we and who are them, the in-group and the out-group. And whenever we talk about us Europeans, then the Americans, there's often this very derogatory language, like you said, hostile in many ways. But as soon as you introduce the Russians, then the Americans are suddenly part of us, and then they're celebrated. But when it's only the two of us, then there's a very strange,
boom. So what he said, just to kind of give context, what he said, he's like, yeah, Americans, when it's just American EU in talks, y'all be shitting on us, in other words. Y'all derogatory against us, but as soon as Russia step up and say something against y'all, now y'all need us. All right? Now y'all cool, y'all want us to have y'all back. Watch Scott's response.
Yeah, can I just remind your European audience who we are?
He said, can I just remind your European audience who we are? Let's listen to America being more stout than their fellows.
And it's only the two of us, then there's a very strange,
can I just remind your European audience who we are? We liberated you, son of a bitches.
See, the dude laughed. He ain't know Scott was about to get at him right here. Scott about to get at him. Watch.
Now, that's his personality. That's his personality. He don't care who you are, where y'all are. If he gonna speak his mind, that's how he is, and he can come off abrasive, but that's his personality. But right here, yeah, you can tell he ready. He about to go in. But sometimes he could just be talking, and it sounds like he going in, but that's just how he is. But yeah, right there, yeah, he finna let him have it.
Strange,
Yeah, can I just remind you, European
distaste.
audience, who we are? We liberated you, son of a bitches.
No.
Okay, we liberated you. Russia did too. Russia liberated the East. We liberated the West. We rebuilt your sorry asses. You wouldn't be here today if it weren't for us. We're not perfect. We never claimed to be perfect. We're Americans. But my God, we went across the ocean to save your sorry asses. And we buried 100,000 plus Americans doing so. And I also want to remind the Germans of a harsh reality too. Familiarize yourselves with Article 53 of the United Nations Charter. Not too many people know what it is, but it's the article that speaks of enemy states. And it gives every nation in the world the right to pound your ass into the dirt if you seek to re-embrace aggressive policies that should have been erased from your DNA at the end of the Second World War. Germany today, in speaking about getting the largest army and preparing for war with Russia, these are aggressive policies. And I don't think the Russians have forgotten what Article 53 is. And hey, guys, J.D. Vance and company, they're looking at it too. You're the enemy of America.
Ooh.
Literally, you are defined by the United Nations Charter as an enemy state. And when you seek to promulgate aggressive policies, don't be surprised when those who buried their fathers, uncles, sons in the soil of Europe to save your sorry asses suddenly decide maybe it's time to bury you instead. This is fundamental, guys. Europe better wake the hell up because America's waking up. We're sick and tired of sending money your way.
This is what he about to say. This Daniel the second chapter. This Daniel the second chapter. The feet and the toes is divided, and the strong, the part of steel tired of helping the clay. And remember, Trump was just complaining about EU member states a couple years ago, saying, "Look, send in y'all portion, man. Send in that money."
Right.
Like the Christian pastors be get that tithe money, pass the collection around. Trump say, pass the collection around. Y'all want all this protection, but y'all ain't paying up. Pay up. Pay up. So it's divided. The feet and the toes divided. And guess what? If your feet and toes divided, how you gonna stand up? How you gonna stand up? This whole thing is falling, man. And this is a good example of the spirit of America versus the beast. How Scott Ritter talking down on this dude right here to the right. And the dude right here to the right, he got that spirit of, I'm going to backdoor you then. Just how it's written in prophecy, the allies of America go backdoor them because they see how you coming. And you all out in the media talking to us like this, calling us stupid and weak. We're going to go behind closed doors. Let me read this real quick. This Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 6 in the NLT. It says, every nook and cranny of Edom will be searched and looted. Every treasure will be found and taken. This is the point. And all your allies will turn against you. It says they will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace. Like we saying, yeah, the EU may still be in talks with America. Like Macron in France, he's still in talks with America, but he been trying to join BRICS. He been trying to get in them BRICS. So a lot of
the same three horns. The same three horns that America uprooted. That's really the core of the EU. France, Spain, and Britain. And they're the ones that's kicking up the dust. France, Spain, and Britain.
Yeah, that's a heavy point.
Then you also got Germany, but Germany ain't kicking up so much political dust, but Germany is a financial burden, which it shouldn't be. But I guess it go back to what Trump was saying, weak leadership. Because, Germany got the top technology. I never understood why Germany, is suffering financially, but they are and they have been for a minute. So they still suffering economic woes, but the main three is, I'm sorry, not Spain. Take Spain out of that. But they are in the 10. But it's mainly Britain and France, and then you got Germany that's putting that burden, that financial burden. So yeah, I just found that interesting. But you good, brother?
That's it. I finished reading. It says Obadiah 1:7 in the NLT. All your allies, and it's talking to Edom, mainly America, because in this chapter it talked about the Edomites who was going to try to go up into space. Set their nest among the stars and be the most proud. American Edomites. So it says, all your allies will turn against you. They will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. They're going to be promising you peace and things will get better while they going behind the door and setting you up.
And that line up when they should say peace and safety. Then sudden destruction, because we at that time.
That's right.
That sudden destruction can pop off. We know that MOTB got to come. So when that MOTB comes, shit, you might see the next day, bam, we in the third woe. It's just that tight. It's electric. The atmosphere is electric. Shit, it's like one false word or one false move, man. It's on. But you good. Go ahead.
That's right. And it says Obadiah 1:7 NLT, all your allies will turn against you. They will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. Your trusted friends will set traps for you and you won't even know about it. Come on, man. Come on. So who knows what the EU nations, member states doing behind the door of America with Russia, with China, with Iran, with Turkey, so on and so forth. And America's proud thinking nothing going on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was about saying America being proud thinking nothing going on because your allies being nice to you still while you been an asshole to them, but you not knowing they setting you up behind closed doors. And then when you're trying to make your move, all eyes will be against you, man. But you got as a ground.
Yeah, because they think that Europe need them. But BRICS changed that. Like you just said, what was it, France trying to go to BRICS?
Yeah, France.
But, because that's the bottomless pit. They need somebody. That's why Russia, sending that gas into Germany. That's the bottomless pit. They don't have gas in the ground, oil, gold, different resources. They don't have it in the earth. All right. And America was taking advantage of that, enjoying the, Big Willie style over Europe in NATO, telling them what to do, being the big boss, calling the shots. The whore that sitteth on the beast. All right. Mainly in part because Europe is the bottomless pit. And they can't generate wealth as a country that can produce from the earth, just out of the earth, So, BRICS is the next thing smoking. So, yeah, it makes perfect sense to go to BRICS. They got to go somewhere. So that might be the move behind closed doors, but we can only wait and see. But it would make perfect sense if they align with BRICS and start firing missiles at this bitch. But you got it.
I just want to read this real quick to back up what we're saying. I just typed in on Google. You can type it in yourself. I typed in France, BRICS. That's it. France, BRICS, AI overview. It says France, led by President Macron, has shown significant interest in joining or participating in the BRICS bloc. which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Now they got more people like the UAE, you know, Saudi Arabia, so on and so forth.
Middle East trying to get in there.
Mm-hmm. And now, mind you, remember, France is a part of the beast. Watch what it's going to say. It says, but France has been seeking a seat at the table for global dialogue, and particularly as a voice for the global South. It says France continues to signal its desire for closer ties, potentially influencing future discussions as India holds the 2026 presidency. Now, I found an article in that. This is an article from BRICS.Brazil. It says this. It says France, and it's a question mark, France to attend the BRICS 2026 summit meeting in India. It says Modi, which is the president of India, Modi and Macron call hints. So they're saying France might be at the BRICS 2026 meeting. That's America ally, somebody who part of the beast, showing outright alliance or, you know, in communication with the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. So it's out there. But if you ain't got enough other times, I'll play a little bit more to vid.
Yeah, I got about, maybe 5-10 minutes. My battery running low.
Okay, that's a bet.
Yeah, I'm out of pocket. I ain't at my desk. So, yeah, but
that's cool.
I got a little time. You good.
All right, cool.
Europe better wake the hell up, because America's waking up. We're sick and tired of sending money your way, of saving your asses, only to have you sit there and spit in our face. Look, there's ways to criticize America. We deserve to be criticized. We are not perfect.
That's another part. Daniel 2, he said we tired of sending money y'all way. Right. The feet and the toes divided.
We've done a lot of things wrong. And I have no problem with people holding us to account. But when you owe your very existence to the blood of Americans, you better bite your tongue when you start to say certain things, or don't be surprised when we turn around and hold you to account. And that's what's happening today. You're being held to account by a generation of Americans who are tired of playing the game. We're not going to underwrite your security with a blank check anymore. And we're not going to stand by idly while you plot against us.
Why you plot against us?
There's an interesting comparison, though, because with the Russians, they often commented on this dishonesty too. That is, when the Europeans go to Moscow, they talk about their security.
Skip up to about 20 minutes of Quinn. That's it. That's it after that.
EU foreign policy.
The new Bearskin Hoodie 4.0 claims to be the most advanced, waterproof tactical
policy chief, Josep Borrell, who argued that why are we still pretending America's a friend? Trump is our enemy. This train has now left the station. It seems. How do you see? Well, you mentioned before that NATO is done, but how do you see this like in the short and medium term? Well, not short, but medium term already, because this rhetoric is becoming quite mutually aggressive. And also, I saw this news article headline in I forgot which one, a British newspaper, that the Europeans are, they're walking a tightrope because they want to be friendly to Trump, but they still want to, they say help Ukraine, which means to prolong the war and undermine Trump's peace agreement by convincing Zelensky not to take it. But so in other words, they want to tell Daddy how great he is. At the same time, they're trying to sabotage what he's doing. I mean, how long can this go on before Trump responds? Do you think? Do you see some escalation coming this way?
Yeah, I see.
The question is, do you see escalation coming this way? According to prophecy, yes.
This can spin out of control very fast, very fast. What I see happening is that Trump is going to use the tools of divide and conquer. There are certain European nations that can't live without the United States. Poland is not going to walk away from the United States. Germany has already made a strategic decision to walk away. So in the short term, I think you're going to see the transfer of American assets out of Germany into Poland or back to the United States. But I think you're going to see the United States divest itself of Germany. This is fundamental. It's the end of NATO. The United States is already, if you notice that Marco Rubio didn't attend the NATO ministerial, it's the kiss of death. The other thing that's happening is that we are beginning to pull out of some of the foundational, infrastructure of NATO, logistical planning, communications. NATO can't have a large-scale military exercise without.
Think about what he's saying. He said America have been pulling out of NATO, meaning America have been backing away from the beast, and on the other side, the beast have been backing away from America. It's separated. Guess what's next? Division and war, man.
United States involvement. We're not going to be involved. We're going to start to withdraw a whole bunch of critical support to NATO while we still be in NATO. We're just going to tell the Europeans, you gotta do it. And Europe can't do it. Europe doesn't have logistical infrastructure that can unify Europe. They don't have a communications framework that can unify Europe. They were relying on the United States for this forever. And so then as Europe starts to collapse, the expense of sustaining NATO without the United States becomes prohibitive.
Daniel 2, defeating until it's divided.
And nations are going to opt out, especially when the United States offers them bilateral security arrangements. And this is what's going to be the end of NATO when the United States moves away from collective security. And we already have. Scott Bessent made it clear that if Russia attacks NATO, we're not going to come screaming in with troops. We'll be willing to sell you some equipment. Maybe. That's it. Of course, that's all that's required under Article 5. People haven't read it very closely if they think that it automatically requires us to send troops in. But we're done with that. So we are getting to a situation where if a European nation behaves irresponsibly and provokes Russia and Russia attacks it, that there isn't going to be a collective response by NATO. Because
Article 5 done. We ain't helping y'all niggas no more. America's saying we ain't helping y'all no more. If anything happens to y'all, we ain't helping y'all. So what security do the EU feel? Y'all ain't gonna help us while we here for y'all to help y'all. Right. If it's divided, Yahweh Shai prophesied, how could it stand, man? We're at the end of the so-called white man power on earth. It's done. It's done. So in this part of World War III news, you see how the beast in America is starting to be divided. And all we got to do is watch and see how America allies turn against them. That's it. That's it, man. Everything is happening. You got anything else out of Tazapah?
Yeah, not to say possibly by design. This is prophecy, but keep in mind, he already had outlined for 3 world wars. Well, we covered that, the letter from Mazzini to Pike. So he's trying to manipulate it on the left-hand side. Yep. He know what the prophecy say, but he's trying to manipulate it for his behalf on the left-hand side. So meaning they know a war is coming. So they trying to get ahead of it and control it. Because this is what they looking at. We got to get this AI going. They don't need militaries if everybody in the goddamn cocoon, in the matrix. So you hear Scott keep saying this is fundamental. He said it a couple of times. This is fundamental. Right. They're doing fundamental. They're changing the whole shit fundamentally at the base level. So in other words, everything is going to operate differently. Like I mentioned with government, and they don't need senators and Congress. Why would you need senators for? AI running everything. Nor would they need military, but they need this third woke because that's necessary for the reset. In the third woke, what you do? You knock off your biggest and you knock off the resistance. The men that's able to fight and resist. Well, you kill them off in the war. And who you got mostly left? Women and children, and they fall in line. Women gonna fall in line. So this is what I'm looking at, trying to reverse engineer the shit. Knowing where they're going, but not knowing how they trying to get there. Yeah, this is how I'm seeing it, but we'll see. That's all I had, brother.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I'm gonna read this real quick. This Jeremiah, the brother of spiritual ark. Jeremiah 15:33. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith the Lord power of hosts. For thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee, and the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up, and I will kindle a fire in the cities, and it shall devour him round about. That's what we waiting on, man. America's demise, finally fall. And we seen it play out by way of
playing that. That's right.
And we seen it play out too. And it's crazy. We seen it play out two ways. And the two ways we seen it play out is the last two prophecies. America will fall. Think about it. Revelation 13 outlined the timeline of the Edomite ruler in the earth, starting with the Greeks, with the leopard Alexander the Great, then going to Rome, and then Rome fell, and then it came back as America. And when it came back as America, that was going to be the very system that they was going to have this RFID micro chip, the MOTB. And in doing that, that was going to be his last hoorah to keep his power, to try to chip everybody. At the end of Revelation 13, the C-Hip is the last, the so-called white man, last magic trick in the earth, his last deception in the earth. And then him beefing with his allies was going to cause him to get lit up by missiles, man. We literally seen the last two major prophecies playing out. How obvious can it be? But again, you know, some go get it, some won't. But as long as we, you know, stay in the spirit, you know, continue to see what's going on, and Yahweh Bashim Shai Ratazah, you know, we just keep on, man. You know, and not get caught up ourselves in the BS and the lies that's going on in the world. But with that, Eltazapah, you got anything else? And now we get, you know.
No, you can take it on that, brother. Take us on that.
Well, with that, you know, it's been another you know, lesson of the Thursday Live. And this one was a digital world and beef between the beast, the EU versus the US. You know, the whore, she mad right now, y'all. You know, she mad.
Yeah, calm, brother, calm.
Usually when a whore got a problem, she gets smacked by the pimp, you know? So America about to get smacked soon. But Lord willing, this lesson was edifying, you know, until next time. You know, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory once again unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Chakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of the great millstone, and as well as the men that taught them. And peace and blessings to all you Joachim out there who pushing his word with all truth and sincerity. And as well as to all you believers out there who believe in the gospel. Eat the water for tuning in. And with that, shalom. All right, we'll be finishing at 144 as a spirit.